you did mention before, and I know some of the viewers here won't even know what you're talking about, referencing the Palestinian that does the same thing that kind of, in a way, sounds like inspired you to do it. Tell us a bit about him, and then tell us about your interaction and what you found with him. Because I do know, when we see two people who are doing almost the same thing on opposite ends of the spectrum, it is kind of you and this guy. He's all over TikTok, and I have noticed, when he pops up live, I see he's generally talking to kids, and I've gone on and done some of these live stuff because of you. It's a completely different game. I think you do it brilliantly. I don't know if it is my game, but when I see, the point I'm making is that when I see kids, I just skip over them because I'm just like, I'm not going to engage with kids. But it looks like he's intentionally talking to kids. Tell us who he is and what you found from your interaction and a bit more about that.
So his name is Hamza Saadah. He used to be a Twitch streamer, and he used to stream about, I think, Fortnite, if I'm correct. I don't know. I didn't watch it. And the reason why he's speaking to children is because he knows that in order to demonize the people of Israel, you need to show people that the children are treating him like crap and trash. So he talks to children who already know him from social media. They know the vile person that he is. So as soon as they see him, they curse him because they see what he does. And then he captures these moments as if those children were taught to hate, were taught to curse, and he's acting like an innocent little boy speaking to these children. Now, if you have just a little bit of intelligence, can't you see that children are not the right people to talk about this topic with? Can't you see? If you actually watch my live streams...
How old is Hamza himself?
What was that?
How old is Hamza? Do you know?
He's, I think, 23 or 22.
Like, he's old enough to know that you don't bring children into the conversation. You talk to somebody at least over the age of 18. And I'll tell you now, the other day he popped up and I was watching live and he was talking to kids, and they were actually genuinely nice Israeli kids. And he was saying, so one kid, he was saying, so your grandparents were from Iran, your grandparents are from Iraq, and and he puts on the real Arabic accent when he says that. And he goes, so what are you guys? And they go, we're Israeli. He goes, how are you Israeli? They're like, we were born here. He goes, oh, okay. So if I was born on a plane, what would I be? And they're like, it was funny because these kids were taking it really in good faith. They were genuinely good kids. And they go, well, so one of the kids was like, well, it depends on the law of the land. Like in America, he goes, I believe that if you're born over America, you're actually then given American citizenship. He goes, or it could be from where you came from. He goes, but no, what if I was born? He goes, he's debating these little kids on the most nonsensical positions. He goes, well, what if you're born over the Atlantic Ocean? Are you Atlantic? And the kid, because they're kids, they were just going back to, it depends what the law of each side of where you came from. He goes, no, but based on what you're saying, because you're born in Israel, that makes you Israeli. And so I walked away from that. Like, obviously you're just, angry to see that this adult is taking these little kids who are coming at him in good faith and positioning the most, dishonest and bad faith kind of argument when, hold on. So really though, when you look at and unpack what he's saying, it's the most racist thing you can say, because essentially you're saying that anybody that is not from that country can never have citizenship of a particular country. And so if you apply that even to him, where's he based? Isn't he based in America?
If I remember correctly, he is based in America. He was not born in Palestine. He was born in America. So why does he claim to be Palestinian if he was born in America? He's American.
No. According to him, no. That would work with his argument. He'll go, he's Palestinian, he's not American. So then, but based on that, get out of America. And based on that, fine, it works good for your little story. But you're telling me now, because, in Australia, in America, you have people that come from all around the world. And so you're essentially saying that I'm not Australian. You're essentially saying all the Muslims that come here and who are proud to be Australian are suddenly not Australian because their grandparents weren't born here. So it is by definition the most racist argument you can make. And he is somebody that I'm assuming, I don't watch enough about, that identifies with the left. And this goes against everything that they ever say. They're like open arms, everybody can come. We are one country. So to me, I just find that this obsession that people have with these kind of content creators that do target kids and make what they would usually consider the most racist arguments. Why is there why do you think that there is, suddenly they ignore the undertone, the clearly racist position it's coming from? Why suddenly does racism not matter to them on the left, the people that usually scream and cry about it? Like if you told an Arab, to these people, that you're not so here in Australia or in Canada or whatever, that you can never be that, you can never be Australian, you can never be American, they will curse you out as a racist. Why do they give him a free pass?
To your point that you said that Hamza is with the left, I don't think Hamza's with the left. I feel like there's some sort of bond between two sides that are on opposite sides, Islamist and the left, because Hamza to me identifies with Islam and he more than the left. But right now they're seeing that there's a common mission to get rid of Israel. So the most absurd groups of people, gays for Palestine and Muslims, for some reason conspire together for a greater mission, which is getting rid of the Jews. So Hamza to me is not with the left. He's Islamist. And
you know what? Even accepting, I don't know enough about him to say that whether he's an Islamist or a leftist, and there is that often that unholy alliance we call it. But even taking the Islamist position, they're the ones in Australia. The Islamists will rally if you say they're not Australian. They will call you a racist if you say they're not Australian. So why suddenly do they get a free pass to claim that this Israeli kids that their grandparents were chased out of their homes in the Middle East and found refuge in Israel and were born and bred in Israel? How does he get a free pass to suddenly call that kid not Israeli?
That's a good question.
I know I should probably pose it to him, but I'm wondering if you have a theory.
I mean, I feel like nothing. Listen, if you truly have history on your side, then it shouldn't be really difficult to understand. It shouldn't be that difficult to understand. But because history is not on their side, they'll do everything in their power to make it seem like it's absurd that Israelis are Israelis and Australians are Australians. And I mean, they'll use whatever tools they have to delegitimize the Jewish people, connection to the land. And by the way, we can say that also the Arabs who have connection to the land as well, that's fine. Nobody's telling the Arabs of the land to leave. You can live here in peace as long as you don't try to kill us. But they use whatever tools they have to legitimize us. And also, he likes to say that he is connected to the Canaanites. How come? Nobody has any connection to the Canaanites. Why? You want to overpower the Jews?
This is actually an interesting conversation because I don't know if you've seen that show on Prime, The Kingdom of David. Have you seen that? Oh, okay. I didn't know. This was just like my friend told me the other day to watch it. My wife and I will. The House of David. Yeah, The House of David. And we watched it. We actually watched it like over the last 2 days. And what's funny is my wife's not Jewish. In fact, she has 2 Muslim kids. So completely approaches these things from like this ground of wanting to understand and loving the people involved. And so when we're watching the show, so it comes up to obviously there's a big war with the Philistines. And she's like, oh, wait, is that the Palestinians? I thought the Palestinians were not like mentioned. He's like, I go, no, you'll never hear the Palestinians calling themselves Philistines. I go, because that undermines their entire argument, because look up where the Philistines come from. And she's Googling it. She goes, oh, they're from like an island next to one of the Greek islands or something like that. And it's like, exactly. And it's funny when they want to, when they need to legitimize themselves, they will go back to something like the Canaanites. Well, and it's like, so why are you not called the Canaanites now? Why did you change your history through that? And it was just like an eye-opening moment for even somebody like my wife to go, holy crap, there is so much distortion and weaponizing of language to justify their position. And the position is quite clear. The position is not two peoples in one land, or two states. Never like that. It's like, no, it's this is our land. We belong here. You have no right to this. And you need to go back to where you come from. And it's just, like you said, history is just not on their side. So they need to play all these different tactics to kind of justify it.